Hello, and welcome to the Knit Reveal podcast. This is Friday, April 16th, and welcome to episode 5. I'm so glad to have you here. Welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. If you're a subscriber, and welcome if this is the first time you've viewed my podcast. So my name is Sarah, and I live here on the west slope of the Sierra foothills in California, USA. And this is a podcast primarily about knitting, but I do talk a little bit about some other things from time to time, as well as a little bit about my health, because if you watch episode 1, that's kind of the purpose of me recording these things, that I wanted to just record a time in my life that I'm kind of going through some things and wanted to share it with my friends, family, and anyone else who cares to listen. So let's get right into the knitting. I am so excited to show you my finished objects this week. I mean, it is really exciting because that's the reason I delayed this podcast for a little while, because I had some things I really wanted to finish in order to do another podcast, and I have them finished now. I literally wove in a few ends this morning and got them ready just so that I could do this podcast this morning. So without further ado, let's start with the first one. So first I have, as you recall from my last episode, my latest pair of vanilla socks. So basically vanilla socks refers to a basic sock pattern, which is what I use for my my socks. Here are a pair that I knit on size 1 ChiaoGoo needles with magic loop. And that's US size 1, which is 2.25 millimeter. And this is in the Lion brand yarn Mani Pedi, which is in the colorway called Boot. And I use 56 stitches, a 2x2 rib for the beginning. I'm not sure how many rows, but then heel flap and gusset. And then I end with a normal toe with the Kitchener stitch, which grafts the end, so it kind of looks like there's no, seam at the end, which is always nice. And so these will be for me. So I put these on the sock blockers last weekend, and they are done. These actually quite flew off the needles up until a point. I got to this point, and then I started my next project. So I had knit the whole first sock, almost nearly the second sock, and then it got put away because I was so excited about my other projects. So anyway, these finally got finished, and I can't wait to wear them. They will be very cozy. I've already had them on for a little photo shoot, so these are my own socks that I can't wait to wear. So that's finished object number 1. And number 2, I'm very excited about this pattern. This is what took me away from the socks. This is my Oslo hat mohair edition. So I had talked on the last podcast that I wanted to knit this hat after seeing it on the podcast for Fiber Tales, but I've also now seen it on Selma Knits. I'm not sure. She has another name on her podcast, but her name is Selma Knits, I think, on her Instagram. But basically, this is the Oslo hat, and it is actually by Petite Knit. That's the creator. So this is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. And like I said, this is the Oslo hat mohair edition. So it's actually a 3 layers at this brim right here. So it is extremely warm. I'm going to put it on really quick. But basically, it's a super warm, super cozy little hat. I think I should have gone up just 1 needle size. I did it according to what the pattern says, but I think I am a little bit of a tight knitter. And I think between my mohair and the yarn I use, which was the Debbie Bliss Rialto luxury sock yarn, held together with Welcome mohair. So the mohair I had in my stash, so it was not, it's actually not being made anymore. I received it from my sister-in-law. I have a whole bunch of this mohair, so I'm really excited because I think that I want to knit another one of these, or maybe 2, because I have quite a bit of this mohair that she gave me. and you can pair it with any kind of sock or fingering weight yarn to make this hat. It is just so cozy and warm. And so the idea is you knit it, so basically what I did is I folded up the brim here, which is what you do, and you're supposed to actually knit it together, but I just ended up sewing it. And you knit it stockinette as a knit, and then you turn it around using this German short row method, and you knit it now the other direction, so that you're always knitting. You're never purling, even though this whole bottom section inside of here is reverse stockinette. So you're never knitting, or you're never purling, which is great. You're always knitting. So it's a very long pattern. You just knit for a really long time, and then you finally use these 4 decreases that make this super cute, decreased edging on it. There's also a non mohair edition that's on her Ravelry page that you can purchase as well, but I really, really liked the mohair edition when I had seen it on the Fiber Tales podcast. So, and I actually really liked the way that she had first knit it, which was super huge and it was kind of slouchy on her. So if I knit this again, I will definitely go up at least 1 needle size, if not 2. So I'm very pleased with this. I can't wait to make another one, and it will be, it's extremely warm. So anyway, that's finished object number 2. Number 3, I just finished this morning. I am so excited about this. So you saw this as a work in progress last time, and this is basically my shawl. Now I started this from the Fiber Tales Scove Bear shawl. That's the way I started it. So she starts basically with this little tab up here of garter stitch, and then you basically take and you knit back and forth, increasing just on the edges. So it's a crescent shawl. It's supposed to be kind of straight on one side and then rounded at the edge. But what I did is, because my best friend wanted kind of a some sort of a can't think of what the word is, edging that had ruffles, which I can't think of the word, it's not ruffles, she wanted, scallops at the edge. I looked up a pattern and I was very frustrated with this. I really, really had wanted to do this thing I had found online, which was a leaf border. I really wanted to do this because this yarn, which is Ella Rae Luxury Alpaca, is very, very good worsted weight style yarn. And my husband just walked into the room. So anyway, but I could not figure out the pattern. I unknit this thing like 3 times and I got so frustrated. I kept putting it aside. I unknit it, and it would have made such a beautiful edging to do this leaf pattern. But finally I found a pattern that would make just these feather and fan type look. So that's what I ended up doing. And I think it turned out really cute after all. So let me put it on so you can, do you need to talk to me right now? No? You're just listening to my podcast? So anyway, this is how the edging looks. It's just so cute. I'm so glad she suggested that I put an edging on it because I think it looks adorable. I can't wait. She has a different size neck than me, so I really hope that it fits her nicely like this. It is so cozy. I mean, alpaca, has that beautiful drape. So it's really just so soft and cozy. I can't wait for her to put it on, and I hope she gives me a picture and authorizes me to post it on my Instagram, which is, I haven't even put this on my Instagram because I just literally wove in the ends this morning. So I hope to take a picture and post it, and I just absolutely love it. I had played a little yarn chicken when I was going to do that leaf border, but it turns out I just scratched it and did it with this feather and fan. So this is also a free pattern on Ravelry, this edging. Now the Scove Bear by Fiber Tales is a free YouTube tutorial, so I will post a link to that as well. But the so basically the feather and fan, and you know what, I think that the pattern is slightly wrong online for that feather and fan. I think it should have the word repeat in the second row, but anyway, I figured it out, and it's a free pattern, so whatever. But I think it just turned out so cute, and it's not the kind of shawl that you're gonna put, I think, around you, because I think it's just too small. It's really more of like a scarf. I mean, you could wear it if you wanted to, but I think it really is more suited as the kind of like wraparound shawl for your neck. So anyway, that's it. I think it just turned out so super cute. Now this light is kind of blowing out the green. The green is a beautiful like emerald green. I don't know what the colorway actually is from Ella Rae. I got this down at my kind of secondary local yarn shop called Rumpelstiltskin. It's down in Sacramento. So basically I started at one size needle, and then I actually increased to the second size needle right here. And then even for the second part of my fan, I increased to another, like a size 8 needle. So I really went up to try to make it really fan out. So anyway, that's the Scove Bear / feather and fan shawl for my BFF. So I think she'll like it. Anyway, all right, so what do we have next? Oh, so this is actually a previous finish object. This is not something I recently knit, but I really wanted to show it because I'm about to send it to my hairdresser. So she had a baby last year, and I have not sent this to her, and I feel terrible, but it is a larger size, so it wouldn't fit her baby quite yet. So basically, when I was in the hospital last year, I knit this little hoodie. So this is the hoodie that I knit for her little boy, and her little boy was now born back in October, so it's, what did I say, April now? But anyway, this is, I believe, a free pattern on Lion Brand. I think that's where I got it. I will post a link. I'll find it and post a link. So basically, this is the hoodie for I think it's a 18-month-old is what I knit the pattern for. So like I said, her baby isn't going to fit for a little while. And I put these adorable little buttons that are cars that I found at my local yard shop as the buttons. I really had wanted to put some toggle buttons, which are those like long tube style buttons on there, but the ones I ordered on eBay were super huge and would have looked really silly. So I ended up going with these little cars. So this is for my hairdresser, who hasn't gone back to work yet, so I'm kind of sad about that. But anyway, we'll give her some time. Enjoy her little baby. So this is the back. So this was just using some yarn I had in my stash, so I really don't know what the colors were, what even the yarn was, because this was last year when I was in the hospital getting my transplant. So anyway, that is the hoodie that I made for him and her, and I can't wait to see a picture of him wearing it. So I will try to find the link to the pattern and post that. So there's the hoodie. Anyway, those are all my finished objects. So now I can send that to her and get it to her for her baby. And okay, so works in progress. We've got a couple, just 2. So of course, you know, I went on that sock yarn buying spree back in January, I think, February, something like that. And one of the sets of yarns I bought on eBay was this trekking yarn. Let's see. I have the ball band. Oh yes, Trekking XXL, which I have knit socks out of trekking before. So when I saw it in the lot that I bought that had all sock yarn, I knew that it would make some super cute socks. So basically this is what I have left, plus this. So I basically wound it to find where I could knit my second sock, because basically what I've done is I've knit an entire sock already. So I haven't blocked it yet, but I wove in the ends this morning at least. So this is actually going to be for my my son's tutor. So I wanted to knit her some socks. So this pink is very, very rosy. I know that the color here doesn't really show it properly, but this is almost a periwinkle blue right here. It's so pretty. I wish the whole socks were all that color. I would be keeping these socks because I love periwinkle. That was one of the colors in my wedding. And so anyway, but I just love how Trekking does these little patterns. This is a self-striping yarn, and it's in the colorway, it's called 81. So anyway, I think it's an older colorway of theirs, but I just absolutely love Trekking yarn. I've knit, like I said, some socks out of it before, and it makes some really cool patterns, and I just think it's so cute. So I was excited to find that. And then this is my second one. So basically, I tried to find where it was exactly the same spot. I got it by a couple of rows, I think. But this is the progress on the second sock. So I will be taking these to my appointment, which I'll talk about in a little bit. My appointment today, and hopefully get pretty far. I'm excited about that. So anyway, that is the, these are just vanilla socks. So I'm knitting these as 64 stitches. I think my son's tutor has a slightly larger foot than I do, so I am knitting them a little larger, and I actually had my husband try them on the other night, and I think they will just be some very nice cozy socks for her. They won't be terribly tight. They may be more of a house sock than a nice fitted sock, but anyway, I think she'll enjoy those, and I'll be getting to the end of those hopefully soon. Maybe we'll have them done for the next podcast. So I have a second work in progress. Actually, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I've got it in my Sparkle and Shine mug that my daughter got me when I graduated from college a few years ago. So she really wanted to get me a present for my college graduation, so she got me this cute little mug, and I'm just sipping on some coffee with my creamer that I made that has turmeric in it, which is an anti-inflammatory, and coconut milk that I simmer with a little bit of lavender in it. I think I talked about that before, but I love that flavor. It's just delicious. And then I put a little honey in it to sweeten it up a little bit. So anyway, super yummy. So anyway, okay, second work in progress. So remember the last time I podcast, I had knit that little baby hat for my boss's grandson. And in fact, I have a picture of it. So I'll show, so I kind of emojied up their faces because I didn't know if it was okay if I showed it. But basically, this is the little guy wearing the hat. It turned out so cute, and it looks adorable, and it looks like it fits him just perfectly. So there's his daddy, I think, which is my boss's son, holding the baby, and that's the hat on the little guy. So I'm knitting another one. So basically, I'm using Patton's Classic Wool, which is that yarn that my husband found at the Goodwill. And so I'm knitting another one of those little hats with the ear flaps. And I think I did it just a few stitches smaller, which actually on that little guy, it looked perfect. So I don't think I needed to go smaller, but I think this actually is a smaller hat. I think I knit this a few stitches smaller. So this will knit, this will be more for like almost a newborn 0 to 3 months size, I think. So this is the hat so far. I've got some ear flaps going, a little bit of garter stitch, which in the round, of course, you knit, you have to knit it as knit one side, purl in the next row when you're doing garter in the round. So anyway, I will be finishing that hopefully soon. I got some I-cord, I-cords on the side so that you could tie it up a little bit if you wanted to keep it on the head. And I think that will be very cute. It's for my best friend's sister's baby, who's due, I think, anytime now. So we need to get it off to England rather quickly. So I better finish that up really soon so she can ship that over to him, because she's my best friend's sending a little care package over to her sister. Give her a few little items, I think. So that's my next little baby hat. And I don't have a pattern for it. I'm just doing it from what I feel like. So that'll be something that I'm working on as well. Okay, so that's all the knitting I have finished or working on. So let me get to a few acquisitions. So first of all, let me tell you about this. So I watched the Lagos on podcast, and it's two gentlemen that do some yarn dyeing and they do some knitting. They have an Etsy shop, I think. They publish some patterns on Ravelry, and they were talking about this little enamel progress keepers that they have for sale on their website or their Etsy shop, and I just had to get one. It is adorable. They called it the Highland Coo, which is, the Scottish cow. But it's so cute. You see the little horns on that guy. Oh, he's adorable. And then it came with a little sticker as well, so I'll link to their little shop. But they're two gentlemen, I think from somewhere in Canada, and they have a podcast. They've only done a few little episodes, but I think they must have quite a following because they've got a ton of subscribers. So I think they've been knitwear designers for a long time, but they've got some gorgeous stuff. One of the sweaters I would love to knit for my husband. I saw it on their podcast the last time, and it is just gorgeous. If I ever get to knitting for my husband, that would be something I would do, I think, one of their designs, because they are just meticulously done and just absolutely gorgeous. So I bought that. It was fun. It just came the other day. And then secondly, I have, I went to my local yarn shop the other day just to browse, and I had to get a second set of ChowGoo needles. So basically I bought another set so that I could have 2 socks on the needles at any given time, or maybe something else, who knows, but specifically probably to do another pair of socks on the needles at the same time I have another pair on, and keep them knitting by magic glue. And I found a ball of yarn. So I think what I'm gonna, so this is Nubel Paints, it says, by Araucania Yarns. And basically it's a 75% wool, 25% silk yarn. And I found out from the yarn shop that they had just put it in the for sale bin that morning. So, yay, I got it. So anyway, I was thinking I might make some socks for my father in this, this yarn. Now I looked up online whether you could make socks with wool and silk, and it said avid knitters tend to just use a wool nylon blend, but I have definitely seen people that use a wool silk blend. So I think he would really enjoy these, and I think that's maybe what I'm going to knit out of them. But it may be that I knit a shawl out of this. I don't know yet. It's so squishy and soft, and oh, I really, really, really like it. So I just had to have it, and I bought it. Then, my final acquisition was a gift. Do you see it? It's in the background. It's right there. It is a bunch of yarn. I got this from the Lone Cowboy and the Creole Queen. They brought it to my house last weekend, and it was so generous of them. They bought me this entire stack of yarn. I mean, we've got every color you can think of. So basically it is Caron Simply Soft yarn. I think they must have bought it locally and just went by and went, yep, I want every single one that they have on the shelf, and just bought them all for me. So it was very, very generous of them, and I am so excited about having all of these different colors, because this is the kind of yarn that you use for some fun color work. Actually, I'm thinking about putting it into a cute little granny square blanket, crocheting it. So, and I plan to probably share this with my daughter, who's been super into crocheting lately. And so that's my plan for it. So there's some gray, there's some white, there's some variegated ones, which are super fun always. Oh, it looks like actually this is a different brand, so it's not all Caron, I guess. But definitely some fun stuff. So there's looks like some free patterns on some of these, and it's like worsted weight basically, size 4, and just lots of fun stuff. And I just can't wait to make something out of them. Can you see all those fun colors? Some blues and black and pink and all sorts of fun things. So those are my new acquisitions of yarn. And so the last thing I was going to talk about was just what on earth is on my arm. Basically, yesterday I went to my photophoresis appointment and they drew my labs and it came back, and we had watched my hemoglobin kind of going down the last couple weeks, and it turns out it is very low. So today I'm going to the infusion center. They went ahead and left my IV in from yesterday. They took out the big one that takes the blood out for my photophoresis, but they left the little one that puts it back in my arm, and they wrapped it up. And so basically today I'm getting a treatment to try to help my hemoglobin go up. And they're really kind of confused about why exactly my hemoglobin went down. They're not really sure. They're like, are you bleeding somewhere? And I said, no. And are you having pain somewhere? Like, maybe am I bleeding internally? No. So they're not really sure why, which really sucks. So to say the least. And basically, yeah, so I have to go. Actually, I have somebody picking me up in 7 minutes. So I'm going to sign off really quickly now because I need to finish getting ready. But I really wanted to finish this podcast and show you everything I've been working on. So anyway, I will be going down for my appointment today, and I will talk to you all next time. You can find me on Ravelry as Knitterbeal, KNITTERBEAL, or of course on Instagram as the Knitterbeal, THE Knitterbeal. So ta-ta for now, and keep on knitting. Bye.